Hi, hello, and welcome to another episode of Executives Corner with Simona Spilak. I am the executive coach, and I coach leaders and managers out there who are in front of high-stakes decision-making and also challenges related to their organization, to their employee engagement, and especially also how to balance their private and professional life. And today we have another great topic in our live interview with another great guest. And the topics which we will cover and as well variety of interests that my guests have offer the opportunity not only for you to join us with your comments or questions, but as well to think about different fields of life. So today's guest is Rahfeal Gordon. Rahfeal Gordon helps leaders and entrepreneurs in them having an impact in various fields of their lives. And he's also a manager, and he owns the full service global branding and publishing agency. And that's how he helps others to make impact in their not only professional life, but as well private life in the areas such as culture, education, business. And he works with a lot of young people. So really an exciting guest, somebody whom I really warmly welcome. So hello and warmly welcome, Rahfeal. So variety of interests, but as well a vibrant personality. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to be able to share on your platform.
Yeah, of course. So, Rafael, how come you have such a variety of interests, but really the genuine interest to help others, to support others, to grow and to create an impact in the fields which they really desire and love?
Yeah, I think it's because specifically I'm all about humanity as a whole. You know, we all share this planet together. We all have to build and connect together. So I just always wanted to be a bridge to be able to help individuals, no matter what industry they're in, but to be able to show them how connected we are, and also making sure that each individual who I am working with or partnering with can be able to really touch excellence in the work that they do. And so, you know, whatever they do on a local level or even in their country, I want to make sure that I can help them and advise them to make a global impact wherever they are. And so I just genuinely love that. And I just love to see when individuals have taken an idea or take a leadership position and thrive and inspire people from other countries and other parts of the world to make the place a better place.
Yeah, that's so nicely said. And before we started our interviews and before we had the technical challenges, before
Yes.
you shared with me that you were just traveling to Atlanta having or hosting a special private event. So what exactly do you do?
Yeah, so I run a global branding marketing firm called Madison Park, and we work with nonprofits, businesses, and as well as individual entrepreneurs, and we help them to be able to go to the next level with their business. We develop branding strategies. We work with them in terms of marketing strategies and material, and we also have a publishing division where we publish books for them. And our distribution is in about 100, a little bit over 100 territories globally, and so their books are be able to be accessible no matter where they are within the world. And so we really work and really get down to the bottom, the foundation of what it would take for a lasting longevity of a business as well as relationships. And so I tend to also host, and because I do leadership advising for various leaders around the world, I tend to host different dinners and different functions, privately held events, where I invite other leaders from other industries to come and partake and break bread together, but also to learn about what the individual or individuals are doing in their country or in their city, no matter whatever country that I'm in. So this month is very busy for me. I'm doing a lot of different private dinners and luncheons and brunches, and hosting a lot of different leaders from different sectors. Specifically, right now, a judge and also a few authors and entrepreneurs who I'm hosting for this month within the city of Atlanta, Georgia.
Wonderful. You know, I'm a big believer that building those genuine relationships and kind of creating a network of human beings who have similar values but also share business interests is such a great platform. And it does not only support the business, it really creates those human connections where we not only find business partners but great friends. So what's your experience? Because obviously you are a networker, but as well you help people to build relationships or to connect.
Yeah, so for me, even starting with, in my business, in the businesses that have created over the years, I look at everyone that I work with as family members. And so that builds trust, it builds longevity, honesty,
Mm.
loyalty, and all the things that are healthy for a culture within the business in which you work for. So I tend to one always look at the aspect of like, I always say my foundation is love. So I love what I do. I love people. I love to just have a good time. I love life. So my thing is that I do everything with love. And so anyone that I'm connected to, I want to be authentic with them and also kind of give them that space of knowing that whatever it is that you're working on that you want to share, it's honestly,
Mm.
you're in a safe space to do that. And that causes a lot of times for my business partners and those who are part of the team to really thrive and feel comfortable with knowing that they're going to always be developed, be poured into, coming from me as a leader, that I'm always going to try to help them be the best that they can be. And also be honest with them whether things are not going well and things are going well, right? And I think that when we have an individual or a group of individuals who like to connect, but also like to be honest and very deep and direct and trying to know what the goals are, know what the aims are of, whether it be the organization or individual, you want honest feedback and you want someone that's going to be transparent with you and transcending with their message, meaning that it allows them to go beyond where they are.
Mm. Agree. And you know what? As you were explaining what you do, it just came up to mind. Do you have an example of really like that people whom you connected build great, not only relationship, but also business? Not something what you would like share, what's not confidential, but just to, because sometimes, I have a feeling that people do not tend to decide that to share their time, but authentically sharing time with no interest having, but just being out there and sharing knowledge, meeting new people. And there is kind of still a reluctancy in that field, isn't it? And sometimes either it is a reluctancy or you feel kind of pushed by somebody because people can quickly over jump that border of just being nice, but sometimes being too nice, it's also not reflecting in
Yeah,
being genuine. So,
that is
so
true.
any good experiences in that field or any wonderful examples?
Yeah, I have a dear friend who lives now, I believe he lives in the Netherlands, but he's from Norway. And dear friend of mine. And when we first connected, he reached out to me because he wanted me to come to Norway to speak for one of his conferences. And so I took advantage of the opportunity, but even in the conversations that we had when I first met him, the year that I met him, the conference had already ended. But he was very consistent with making sure that we kept in contact, and he wanted to know about it. And it was refreshing and also new for me to deal with someone that wanted to know more about. Hey, what's your favorite color? What is how's your friends? How's your family? What are things that you're doing outside of business? And that drew to me a really good energy from him, and it caused me to share and for us to both be open and build a rapport and build a relationship prior to
Mhm.
the following year. So and then when I got to Norway, just to be able to have lunch and to meet friends and all the
Mhm.
individuals that are part of his circle was amazing. And that's kind of like sometimes one of the methods or the formulas to a great relationship is to think of, just to be connected to someone that or share things that are not specifically about what you are trying to fulfill for you, but just to genuinely have a conversation and be able to, it's an even exchange, right? And I think for me, when I am out in the world and I'm building relationships and meeting people for the first time, it can't. Some people can feel like, wait a minute now, what do you want? Because you're too nice. You're opening your
Mhm.
doors to me. You really want to know genuinely how am I doing on my personal life. And I'm like, it's important because you're human just as much as I. And that's first and foremost. And everything else after is just the clothing on us. So the business, your goals and what you're trying to pursue, those are just clothings on of your human experience. And so I love saying to people, I'm all about making human experiences because those are great human memories now in the long run. And so the more friends I can create, the more memories I have, which makes it a much more refreshing and more deep and loving experience of life that I can have.
Yeah, agree. No, but there can also be a dark side to it. Any like not so positive
Right.
experiences with people.
Hmm. That's true. That is true. And I think that's And some, and, you know, and again, that's a part of the life experiences too, is that
Mhm.
sometimes you can be very open and very honest and authentic with someone, and they may not be. And I know a lot of times there, you know, people always talk about certain industries where they feel that people aren't honest and aren't as trustworthy as, you know, you may be. But, you know, that's something that you should just understand and know that that's also, there's a yin and a yang to that, right? But you
Yeah,
should never waver in being authentic and being honest, because in the long run,
agree.
all that is for you will be for you.
Mhm.
If you're an authentic leader, if you're an authentic businesswoman or businessman, um, you will always in the long run have the greatest value of integrity, and
Mhm.
people will respect you more because of your honesty and your truthfulness.
Agree, agree. You know, at the end of the day, is how we feel in our own
Yeah.
skin. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter whom we meet or how they act or react and behave. I believe it's based on, it really depends on us how we manage those relationships.
For
And I,
sure.
as you
Hmm.
said, I always follow the path, you know, just
Yeah.
be respectful to everyone. You never know what's the lesson in that relationship or a person you meet, and that's the beauty of it. And I believe it really connects well with leadership as well. And I know that you are doing a lot of advisory work, and
Yes.
uh, do you see that leaders are kinda, and also owners and all those startups CEOs, that they are adjusting well to the new challenges of the world, of being also more vulnerable or showing the more humanity or humility piece than just going after the results?
Yeah, I
What
think was what I've noticed. Yeah, what I've been noticing as like a common action or a common thought that's been, or things that are being spoken about, is just trying to figure it out. There's more. There's a lot of leaders now who are becoming, who have, you know, really pushed themselves to be more solution driven, and to be more open to understanding that, you know, a lot of things are, well, this is a moment where things have changed, where what was once relevant is no longer relevant, and also kind of, you know, testing out the waters with new ideas, new thoughts and methods. So I do see a lot of leaders being open to the change. I do see a lot of collaborations happening now more than
Mhm.
often. And I'm also seeing how individuals are using technology more than ever, leadership kind of within their plan. Because I think too, prior to the pandemic, you know, I believe there were organizations that I came in contact who wasn't really leveraging their potential with technology. And so the pandemic really forced a lot of individuals who were in leadership positions, as well as organizations and companies, to really leverage how they communicate to their team through the technology which was offered to them that they never maximized. So, you know, something as small as Zoom. Zoom was something that we all had access to, but
Yeah,
you know, during the pandemic, it was really maximized, right? And everyone really took heed to it, and it worked for a lot of organizations that might have been struggling. And you know, that was where they had to really like, hey, let's communicate better. Let's put some things into play. And Zoom made it much easier for people to say, you know what, I'm going to jump in and really help and tag team you guys with projects.
yeah, agree, agree. You know, I also noticed as well. Previously, my coaching clients, they were all like more keen to come to live one-on-one session, or I was
Yeah.
even traveling abroad just to meet a client out there. But then suddenly, with pandemic, we all adjusted to it, and Zooms became
Mhm.
a natural way of communication. And
Yes.
it's great that we have videos, though some people are reluctant to switch on the video still, though. But you know, it kind of. I'm just noticing that how adaptable we are as humans and how quickly we adjust to the new situation. But of course, there was a huge need as well of support, of guidance, and so
Right.
obviously, and a lot of businesses were thriving due to that. And thanks God, we all quickly adjusted to that new world. But you know, now going back to that real face-to-face projects and coachings and relationships and everything, I would say that I kind of sense sometimes a bit of a fatigue, you know,
Hmm.
and we had that Zoom fatigue during the
Yeah.
pandemics, but now I believe that there is a lot, I sense the fatigue of too much of everything at once, especially with us in Europe, you know, that we started the live
Hmm.
events again, or bigger events and concerts. And so, and sometimes can be really exhausting also to me.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but that's the interesting piece of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's very interesting though, because they always say too much of anything is not good, right? You love something, you're like, oh wait, not too much candy. We love candy, but not too much, too much flour. And but there's a balance there. Once you realize something really is good for you and it's also
Yeah.
a good tool,
Mm,
you can't put everything into that particular area. So it's always about balance and just kind of seeing how what is the maximum, or how
agreed.
can you master this particular piece or this
Agreed.
way of communicating, and then also find other things to kind of have your options there, because everyone leads differently, everyone builds differently. But if you have multiple options on how to build and how to lead, and have it exposed for others to see, it's always it's a good thing. It's a positive, and it also gives people momentum to get closer to whatever the goal is.
Agree, agree. But one question though, how do you find that balance with all the traveling, a huge number of events, a variety of different people you meet? Do you have a special routine or?
Yeah, so I do a lot of meditation. Meditation is one of my key things. I meditate in the morning and more so at night as well. And so my thing is I have two assistants, Naya and Fatima, and they've been really good in balancing my schedule.
Okay.
They really are, yeah,
Oh, it's
without
great to have a team and a support, isn't it?
yes. So they are great supporters, and they really help me to stay balanced. And and one thing that I'm always working on is delegating, because that helps out a lot when it comes to having a lot to do, especially with the travel. So I've been really proud of myself for being able to to constantly work on delegating where it needs to be. I also think one, again, this is a big thing, is staying healthy. I think it's
Yeah.
important to be mentally healthy and also physically healthy. So I do a lot of running. I do about 3 to 4 days of workouts throughout the week. That kind of helps me to also release stress that I may have, after a long day. But also just more so just having a balance, understanding where my time needs to be allocated to, because time is the one thing that you can't get back. And I think it's important to know where your time is going, and also what the results will be, or what you intentionally want your result to be from whatever activities are on your calendar.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned like three biggest challenges of leaders everywhere around the world. The first one really being the delegation, the second one being the focus, and then being able to prioritize.
Yes.
But focus in the sense of, sometimes we see so many opportunities out there that it's hard to juggle and to
For
evaluate
sure.
what's the opportunity we should like go after or which one to wait for. And yeah, especially like first time CEOs, they have a challenge there, and a lot of leaders who are especially like first time leaders having a challenges with prioritizing and delegation. And it's a wonderful thing. And it comes down to the simple things at the end of the day. you know
Hmm.
it's not complicated to find the balance. Whatever resources we find out there, or whatever books we read, it's our own formula, I would say, and it's not copy paste. So
Yeah, but to your point, which is very important, is that you got to keep it simple.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
if you keep everything as simple as possible, which is very, I think too, is a little bit difficult for many leaders at times too, because like you said, there's so much going on, there's so many opportunities. But the thing is that to be successful and to be effective as a leader in any position is to take the time to really work on simplifying the method,
yeah.
simplifying the thought process. And that's where the most of the time takes up. It's trying to figure out the best strategy and the method to execute in the quickest form, to communicate everything sharply and quickly, and making sure that whatever it is that you're trying to convey, it's so clear that even a third grader, someone that's a young person, can understand it.
Agree, agree, agree. But that's so hard sometimes,
It is.
because
It is.
we would love to explain everything, share everything, and then people just simply can't follow, or it's too overwhelming. So,
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Rahfeal, you mentioned already that you are working or having a great friend in Norway, and we shared in your description that you are the global ambassador of the International Hub in Oslo, Norway. But you are also a co-founder of Voices for World Peace Organization. Would you
Yes.
please share more about that platform?
Yeah, so the Voices for World Peace platform was I co-founded it with a dear friend of mine from Norway, Amir, and we had a conversation. I think this was right after the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony when Malala received her Nobel Prize.
Uh-huh.
I was there for the ceremony, and
Oh,
my dear friend and partner, business partner, hosted a dinner for her the night before the award ceremony. And so when we were having a conversation, he asked about what is it that what I yearn to, what I really wanted to do, and I just like wanted
mhm.
to impact the world, but I also know that the world is made up of many young people. So he and I made the decision to create a platform that shares that allows young people to come on the platform to share their share what their needs are and what the issues are dealing with their country and within their generation. And so we hosted a major concert and festival to launch it in Oslo, and we live streamed it, and hundreds of students, young people came out, and a lot of the ambassadors from various countries came out to support and endorse it, and it was just beautiful to have and see. But the
Mhm.
Voices for World Peace organization is focused specifically on solution driven ideas and projects that we can help fund and push to make sure that young people know that they are being heard too, and that individuals like ourselves that are in leadership positions can really be able to be a resource and a bridge for them.
Oh, great, wonderful. Such a great story and such a great idea.
Yeah,
And once again, if you
thank you.
weren't there, most probably you wouldn't come up with the idea. I mean, yeah, yeah, no, it's really, but as I said at the beginning, you have a variety of interests, but you
Yes.
also have that vibrant personality. And then what's that thing with 18 books being published?
Yeah, that and that came out of nowhere. It was never in my thought to write books, but it feels like every year I got an idea, but it feels like it's an idea for a book. And
How do
so,
you do that? You have to take them. I know that we can write 15 minutes every single day, and then there is a book in 1 year, but
right.
so it requires discipline.
Yeah, so it's a lot of discipline. And when I get the idea, I don't automatically write. I may write it in my phone, text it in my notes, and then I may sit down for an hour and then just kind of jot down different things and ideas of like, if the book is going to be published, where do I want the book to be seen, like physically seen, in what locations? Who do I envision reading the book? And so those are like the beginning processes of the book preparation. And then once I realize like every day it's in my head and I can't get it out, and it's all like when I'm eating, sleeping, is always there. That's when I know I have to write. And so I block out about maybe 2 days out of each week, and I do about a good, at minimum, 5 to 8 hours of writing in those 2 days out the week. And I usually just write it. I have an outline and I write it. And then once I feel in my spirit that it's completely, I have poured as much as I can into the paper, I'm done. And then after that, it goes into editing. But that happens once, about once every year, 2 years. So, but 18 books is a lot of books. And I still to this day can't believe I published that many books.
Yeah, it's like, wow, how did he manage that? How
Yeah.
where, you know,
Sheesh.
and
Yeah.
I started very early as well. So no, it's amazing, really
Thank
amazing. And
you.
you can touch different topics, variety of people, which is wonderful. So, Rafael, do you have like your favorite quote or a lesson, life lesson, which you share with your either clients or just people whom you meet? And I'd love you to share that with our audience.
Absolutely. So the quote that I live by is my life quote, and your location is not your destination. And so, yeah, so that quote for me is something that I live by since the beginning of when I came into Inception and to Concept. And so what I did was I thought about like tell my clients and those that I'm connected to on a personal level that where you are today is not where you're going to be at tomorrow.
Yeah.
And as long as you are pushing forward and want to see better for yourself and even in your community, but sometimes we all have those moments where it may be a little dark for us one day compared to another. We may go through different storms in our life. But I do believe that if we stay focused and we kind of always have a positive outlook and be optimistic, we will always know that where we are today is not where we're going to be at tomorrow. And we just got
Yeah.
to be focused and be positive in that mindset. And so when you do that, we will always be in motion. And that's all about living. We live in motion. So we right now we're having this interview, but this time tomorrow somebody is going to be impacted by this interview,
Yeah.
right? And I'll probably be working on a book or working on something, but it's all a part of the process. And so your location is not your destination as long as you are intentional about it.
Yeah, agree. And it beautifully connects with the fact that as soon as you stop reading or learning, you stop growing.
Yeah.
and then what's left out there. So, but going back to location and destination, next time you'll be close to Ljubljana, you have to reach out to go for a lunch or
Absolutely.
a
Absolutely.
dinner. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, but you mentioned you were you visiting already Slovenia, but I believe you were in Austria, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I
That's
was.
the nearest country.
Yeah, and I love Austria. Because I wanted one. I was traveling to. I'm a big Mozart fan, so I wanted to see the birthplace, and also I watched Sounds of Music. So I wanted to go to different places there. But I flew in. I flew into southern Germany. I was in Bavaria, so I was down in southern Bavaria. I was down there for 2 weeks, and I was like, I want to go to Austria. And so I drove on a Sunday on the autobahn and just took it straight into the beautiful lands, and it was beautiful, and I really enjoyed myself, and it
Mhm,
was very magical for me, especially traveling so far from the
mhm.
US. So, but I plan on coming back again soon, so that's going to be something amazing to
So,
see now.
so we have a date.
Yeah, we have a date. I promise you that.
Wonderful. So, Rafael, if people would love to reach out to you,
Yes.
whatsoever kind of need of advisory in the field of either publishing a book, a
Mhm.
brand image, or just connecting with other people for businesses, how they can reach you, where they can
Sure.
reach you, what's the best place to reach out?
Yeah, so pretty much they can always reach out through my website, which is rahgor.com,
Mhm.
RAHGOR.
And it's in the post there. So,
Yep, perfect. Yep. And usually I'm good with you can send me a direct message through any of the social media platforms. And usually Naya or Fatima will always be able to assist me with making sure that I get back to you within a 24-hour time frame. So those are mostly on my platforms, social media, and my website, because there is a contact page there. You can just
mhm,
reach out, and I'm sure we can schedule time to talk or figure out ways of how I can
mhm.
help you in your business and even advise you if necessary.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so last but not least, what's the next destination? What's the next location? What's the next event you're
Mhm.
going to?
I know, I know. I was like, oh man. So right now we're actually planning the Skyscraper World Tour, which starts in the fall. And
Oh,
right now, I believe we have about 15 locations. And so
oh,
I'll be traveling from September into the 2023 year. And we'll be doing my book signing lectures. We'll be doing dinners for entrepreneurs and leaders in different countries and cities as well. And then, so that's right now being planned. And right now we're also we're working with a lot of our authors. So a lot of them are really doing well with the partnerships for their books. So I'm really happy and proud of them. So right now we're just making sure that I'm able to advise them properly and making sure whatever they need, they have that. So, but that's really what's going on now. And hopefully I'll probably be back in Europe just to kind of see all the friends and everyone over the next 2 months before the tour starts. So you may see me over there sooner than later, and just
yeah,
have a
absolutely.
good month there. Yeah,
Absolutely. As we are able to travel, it makes our life so much easier. And Europe is
sure,
not big. So, yes, you have to absolutely let me know if you will be close to Slovenia.
for
So,
sure,
so
absolutely.
thank you very much, Rafael. This was so wonderful. I believe that you brought gold with you as you have it in your background. So,
Thank you.
thanks for the love and for all the advices. And I encourage everybody who would love to have some kind of an advisory, either in the field of publishing a book or just a business or a connection, to reach out to you. You're a lovely person, and I'm really grateful having you here with me today. And thanks God we managed second time to do this
Yeah,
interview.
yeah. It all worked out well.
Yeah, exactly. So if you'd love to, you can wait for me in the green room. I'll be
Hmm.
there soon. But once again, really, thanks a lot for being my guest, and thanks a lot for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, so my dear listeners, dear guests, so that was Raphael Gordon, and I believe that you managed to catch some bits and pieces and golden nuggets from his experience, not only for publishing so many books, but as a variety of interests, variety of fields where he supports leaders and entrepreneurs. And I believe that making that genuine, authentic human connection is something that can also help your business thrive. So take care, and if you might find or have a desire or need a guidance in coaching, reach out, send me a message, direct message, or book a coaching call with me. But otherwise, if nothing else, you will meet me here again next Monday at 6 p.m. CET with another edition of Executives Corner. Take time and take care, and have a good evening, good night, or good morning, wherever you're coming from. Bye bye. Ciao.